We open on Abe playing chess at a small table. He looks like a relaxed man enjoying a quiet match. That look is a mask. Abe is a ruthless crime boss who controls the Eastern Territory. Across from him sits Frankie, the feared boss of the West. They grin over the board like old friends, even though both men are known for cruelty. The next morning shows Abe in a different role. His little daughter wakes him, and he becomes a gentle father. With his family, he acts calm and ordinary, nothing like the man the streets whisper about. After a shower, he joins breakfast and makes himself coffee. He brags that his coffee is incredible. His wife laughs and says it tastes like cheap instant coffee. Their daughter asks to sleep at her grandmother's place. Abe agrees and reminds her about homework. Outside, his driver Benjamin waits by the car. Inside, Abe's wife notices a bottle he left behind. It is medication for bipolar disorder. Abe hands Benjamin a cup of coffee and asks for an honest opinion. Benjamin smiles and says it is good, and Abe looks pleased. Then Benjamin adds one more line. It is good, especially for instant coffee. Abe's smile tightens. As they drive, a police car follows them. Abe and Benjamin do not even look surprised. They are used to being watched. Abe gets annoyed and tells Benjamin to speed up. At a red light, Benjamin suddenly turns right and slips away. The police drive past and lose them. In the car, Abe talks about his evening plan. He has a meeting with Frankie, and he is angry because Frankie has been stepping into the East. Abe tries calling Richard, the man who launders money for his operation. Richard refuses to pick up, even though Abe has just paid him. The longer it rings, the hotter Abe's anger gets. When he hangs up, he decides Richard must be removed. Abe meets his assistant and hands him an envelope. Inside are photos and details to locate Richard. Abe gives a cold order. Deliver it to apartment 23 and do it exactly at 3 Wows. At 3 Wows, we meet Kane, a brutal mercenary who handles targets with ruthless efficiency. Earlier that day, he trains hard, pounding a heavy bag with precision. After the workout, he stops at a store to buy alcohol. 2 thugs stare him down, looking for trouble. Kane imagines breaking them in seconds, but he holds back because 2 police officers walk in. He will not risk attention. Back at his apartment building, a neighbor tries to provoke him. Kane ignores it and walks away, especially with a woman nearby. In his room, Kane strips and takes a shower. Right on time, Abe's assistant slides the envelope under Kane's door. Kane steps out, sees it, and turns on the TV. The news reports a brutal attack from the night before. The killer shown is Kane himself. He watches his own work without emotion. Then he opens the envelope and finds Richard's file. Kane understands the next job immediately. Richard is at home with his pregnant wife. His phone rings and he knows it is Abe. He declines the call. He tells his wife he has a client meeting and goes to the shower. In the kitchen, she hears a message alert on his phone and checks it. It is not business. It is a flirtatious chat with another woman. Richard is lying. Richard gets dressed and says she should not wait up because the meeting will run late. He leaves the house. His wife follows at a distance, hurt and suspicious. Behind them, Kane follows Richard's car like a shadow. While driving, Richard calls the woman. She says she feels guilty because his wife is pregnant. Richard assures her they will not get caught. Meanwhile, Richard's wife calls her sister Kelly again and again. Kelly finally answers. Through tears, she says Richard is with another woman. Kelly tells her to breathe and calm down. Then the truth hits. Kelly is the woman Richard is going to meet. Kelly panics and begs Richard not to come tonight. Richard ignores her and keeps going. Kane keeps tracking him. In a parking lot, Kane steps out with his gun and approaches. Richard fights back. Kane fires, but the first shot misses. In the struggle, a stray bullet flies. By a cruel accident, it hits Richard's wife, who has been watching from nearby. She dies on the spot. Kane freezes for a second, shocked by the wrong kill, then escapes on his motorcycle. On the road, he stops and calls Abe's wife, trying to learn where Abe is. A few hours later, Abe arrives at a hidden bar with Benjamin. He is there to meet Frankie and settle the dispute. Frankie enters with his younger brother. Abe offers a handshake. Frankie refuses and keeps it cold. The brother mocks Abe in Greek, assuming Abe will not understand. Abe understands every word and stays silent. They sit down, and Abe asks why Frankie keeps pushing into the east. Frankie avoids the question and suggests a chess game instead. Abe agrees. Frankie asks what they are betting. If Frankie wins, the east becomes his. If he loses, he pays Abe a large sum. Frankie wants to humiliate Abe and take his power with a smile. Abe sets a different rule. The stake is life. The loser dies here. Frankie laughs, then looks into Abe's eyes and realizes Abe means it. Frankie tries to leave with his brother. Abe's right hand and another mercenary block the exit. No one is walking out. Frankie tries to regain control and reveals his leverage. He claims his men have already moved on Abe's wife and daughter. One call, and Abe's family will be killed. Abe leans back and tells him to make the call. Frankie calls his men. We cut to Abe's house as armed men break in. The place is empty. Wife gone, daughter gone. On the floor is a small box. When they open it, the house explodes. Abe had moved his family and planted a bomb long before. Frankie has lost his threat. With no leverage, he has to sit and play. The game begins. Frankie is tense and breathing hard. Abe moves with eerie calm. Then Abe starts to tremble. He remembers the pills he left behind. Without his bipolar medication, his mind begins to slip. His focus cracks, and his play gets worse. Frankie takes advantage and wins. Frankie leans in, enjoying the moment, and starts to mock Abe. Something inside Abe snaps back. Instead of accepting the loss, Abe pulls a gun and shoots Frankie's brother in front of him. Chaos erupts. Abe rants, laughs, and shouts, shifting between moods in seconds. He turns to his right hand and asks how many people they have killed together. The man says he lost count years ago. That answer feeds Abe's frenzy. Abe shoots his own assistant and then kills everyone else in the room. Benjamin can only watch, terrified. He realizes Abe is not just angry. Abe has fully lost control. Then Kane walks in. He points a gun at Frankie and executes him without hesitation. Kane tells Benjamin the men here got what they deserved. He offers Benjamin a gun and a toast to the bloody night. Benjamin refuses. Kane raises his own gun and starts counting to 3. If Benjamin does not shoot first, Kane will shoot him. At that moment, the truth becomes clear. Kane is Abe. Abe has a split personality. Inside him lives a cold, merciless killer. Without the medication, Kane has taken over completely. Benjamin has no choice. On the count of 2, he fires first and kills Abe before Kane can pull the trigger. Silence fills the bar. Abe is dead, Frankie is dead, and the territories are suddenly empty. In the parking lot, Richard swings wildly. Kane stays close and clinical. The first shot misses, then the wrong person drops. Kane shows a flicker of surprise. Not guilt, just annoyance that the job turned messy. He vanishes before anyone reacts. For Benjamin, that silence sounds like an opening. He was never only a driver. He has been learning, waiting, and now the territories are his to take.